What's up, everybody? So 11 o'clock, we'll just hop right in. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are doing awesome. Off to a great start this week. Okay, okie dokie. Let me pull up the chat so that if you have any questions, you go ahead and drop them in the chat. All right, so no announcements, nothing new. Actually, there is an announcement. It'll be going out in the emails, or maybe it's already gone out in the emails. You have to check me on that. But this website optimization challenge, we had to postpone that because, as I'm wont to do, I completely forgot that I'm leaving tomorrow morning early through Saturday, taking a bunch of young men from church again to go hike the Middle Teton in Grand Teton National Park and taking them river rafting in the Snake River. So totally forgot that I had that. That's why we're not doing the optimization challenge this week, but we will be doing that in a couple weeks, and it's going to be awesome. For a little taste of what is to come, if you have not seen inside of the Grassfed Secrets Facebook group there, let's see, we'll show you, is a video that we just did, a masterclass on website optimization. We did that on July 2nd. So you can go and check that out. And yeah, so that's an hour long. It was pretty awesome. It was a lot of fun. And that will be a good primer for you. So let's hop right into questions. I know that we had one question that had come in was about, I think it's from Jessica. It was about just doing a better job of targeting the people that you want to be selling to and serving, right? Getting the right people on your email list so that you can be increasing your sales conversion and just having a better overall traffic strategy. And so her concern was they're not getting the right people onto their list, right? They're not getting the right type of customers that they want to be selling to and serving. And so their email list wasn't as effective as it could be. Okay, so the very first thing that when we launch our ads, right, we want to cast a wide net, because when you are just getting started selling directly to the consumer, you don't know who your best customers are. We go through the exercise of creating this customer avatar, right, to kind of like determine in advance who we think we want to have as a customer. And then the rubber really meets the road once we start selling to the customer, to consumers, and getting new customers. And then once we have enough data, we can go look at all that data and go, okay, out of all these people that have paid us, like, what are the 20% that are responsible for 80% of the sales, right? So we will identify those top 20% of all customers. And then we look at them and go, okay, what do they have in common? Where do they live? How old are they? Are they married or single? What kind of industry do they work in? Are they homeowners or do they rent? And so that's where we really dig into the data, right? And so once you're at that point, the simplest way, or the simplest thing you can do to then go find more people like them, is just to take the email list of those 20% of your best customers, upload it to Facebook, to the ads platform, and create a new custom audience. Okay. And then show your ads to this custom audience, which it's going to be called a lookalike audience. All right. So Facebook is going to take that email list that you upload and say, and you're telling Facebook, like, go show my ads to people that are just like these people on this list. Okay. So to be clear, you're uploading an email list of your best customers, right? Upload that list, tell Facebook that I want to create a custom audience, which is a lookalike audience, and show my ads to people who look like this list of people. And so that is a really simple thing that you can do to more finely hone in on and target the sort of people that you are currently selling to and having great success with. Now, if you don't have a big customer list, right? Because when it comes to being able to create a lookalike audience in Facebook, like, the more data that you give Facebook, the better Facebook will be at its algorithm, right? The better that its algorithm will be, and the better it can do for you. And so if you only have like 30 people, like, that's not enough. Okay. So you need to have hundreds of people on that list that you upload. And the more that you can provide, the better the Facebook algorithm will perform for you. So another thing that you could do, like along that same line, is take all of the people that, like, all of your customers, and upload your entire customer list, right? And do the same thing, create a lookalike audience, and then have Facebook show your ads just to that lookalike audience of customers. So that's a great way to get started. Another thing that you can do, if you don't have, that many customers yet, is all of the people on your email list, even if you think that they're not, like, some of them may not be like the ideal customer, right? Or your target market. These are all still people that have exercised, like, that have shown intent, right? So they've clicked on your ad, they've entered your giveaway, and they've got on your list. They have shown intent. And so if you had like the option of, all right, I'm going to put an ad out in front of people and I want to show it to, there's two groups of people that I can show it to: people who have not shown intent and people who have shown intent. You want to show it to the people who have shown intent all day long. Okay. So you could upload your entire email list and do the same thing and just create a lookalike audience, right? Because then, even if some of the people on your email list you don't think are your target market, they have still shown intent, right? They've enacted a behavior that is something that you want in the people you're trying to target. And so that is also a great thing to do, right? So let's say you've been running Facebook ads for a couple months and you've got a few thousand people on your email list, right? Then take your email list, upload it to Facebook, create a lookalike audience, and then create a new campaign, a new ad campaign, a new giveaway campaign. And for your audience, select custom audience, and select the lookalike list. Okay, we have videos in the Facebook section showing you how to do that. Okay, so that's a great way to more narrowly define the people that you're trying to get your message in front of. So, and again, just a review on the statistics that we actually, like the metrics that we're measuring when we run ads. We don't care about cost per click. We don't care about impressions. We don't care about link clicks. We don't care about any of those data points. The only thing that we care about is the conversion on our giveaway page, right? Which your opt-in conversion is probably, the lowest that we've ever seen. I think it was like 70% on that giveaway page. So you're probably somewhere in the 70, 80%. Okay. If you're targeting like a super narrow audience instead of a geographic area, if you're going really narrow, right, which is like people who like this TV show and like this blog and who live in this area and this zip code, top 1% of income, who have birthdays in March, then your opt-in conversion will be a little bit lower, right? That might only be 30, 40%. But if you're doing a general geographic targeting, right, then it should be pretty high. I mean, from the 70s all the way up into like 92, 93% opt-in conversion, which is still crazy, right? Like that's still insanely high. So that's the one metric we care about. The second one is cost per lead, right? How much is it actually costing us to get one people to enter that giveaway and get on our email list? All right. So links and cost per click, we don't care about any of that stuff. Okay. None of those are leading indicators. The only leading indicator of whether or not we're being effective in our ad is the cost per lead and the opt-in conversion. So cost per lead is number one. Okay. So, yeah, those are great questions though, right? Let's see. Let's see, Taylor, you got a question in chat. Okay, so I'm working on finishing up our 30-day welcome series this week. First question: should every email in the series have an offer, or is it okay to have some introductory emails in the beginning that just talk about our ranch and how we raise our beef that don't have offers? That's a great question. Yeah, every email does not need to have an offer. Absolutely, you can educate and motivate your prospects to take action, right? Just by sharing, just by teaching. Again, that's educating them by sending emails that are strictly all about like helping them and addressing their concerns, or introducing them to who you are and what you care about and the values and all that stuff, right? So absolutely, you don't need to have an offer in every email. Having said that, when it comes to generating sales, it's number of offers that we make times consistency over time, right? So the more offers we make, the more money we make. And so we want to be making offers frequently, very frequently, but not every email needs to have an offer in it. All right. Second question: are all of the welcome series emails customer acquisition pricing, or after the first couple offers, am I trying to make good money on the offers? Yeah. So in the beginning, right, like the first, in your first couple emails, let's say like the first week, yeah, we want to be making these new subscribers. We want to be making them offers that are front end offers, right? That are easy to say yes to. Now, that doesn't mean that we're only saying like, hey, try this sampler or try this free plus shipping offer, or, something that's low ticket. Like you could have a sampler box that's $250, right? Or 150 or 67, right? And so, yes, you want to be making these low ticket offers in the beginning, especially to the new people on your list, because we're trying to get them to convert and become buyers, right? Because if we can help, if we can establish that know, like, and trust us, right, that credibility in the beginning, and then present them with an irresistible front end offer, then they're going to cross the biggest chasm that there is to cross in all of marketing, which is taking a stranger and getting them to know, like, and trust us and be willing to pay us. So yes, Taylor, great question. At the beginning, yeah, we want to make them some front end offers, but then you're kind of dropping them after the introductory email series. Then you're dropping them into your normal, like what we would call your flagship email series, which is just the emails that you send out to everyone on your list. Okay. And so that could include like your newsletter, your promotional offers, right, that you're making hopefully every week. So yeah, great question. All righty. What other questions, guys? Megan, Sanford, Taylor, Lacey, Jessica. Anybody have any questions on any of this stuff? In the meantime, maybe we'll just go over this real fast. So this is something that is kind of little understood, and we covered it in the masterclass, in the website optimization masterclass that we did in the Facebook group last week. So this is the customer value journey. This is kind of, we need to understand this so that we can understand how to present offers and how to help our customers kind of progress and advance along this journey. So the very first stage of this customer value journey is awareness, right? This is essentially when they are becoming aware that we even exist, right? This is the first time they've heard of us, when they come in contact with us or our business. And so awareness can take place in a number of different places, right? It could be word of mouth. It could be they see something that we've done. They see our roadside stand or anything. But for our purpose, like, this is really the giveaway, right? The giveaway is where they're seeing our giveaway ad. So this is the first opportunity. Or if you have a partner that's promoting your giveaway, it could be in an email or it could be in a social media post. But this is where we're establishing that awareness. And then it's all about engagement, right? We're trying to get them to engage with us, to take some action. So it could be entering the giveaway or responding to an email, right? So we want to get them engaged. And then convert, right? Step 3. This is where we are trying to convert them from being a subscriber now to becoming a customer, to becoming a buyer, someone that is paying us. Okay, so that's where we make front end offers, send out emails, we can post, this is all about conversion, right? And then once they become a buyer or a customer and they paid us for the first time, then we can ascend them up our value ladder and start kind of promoting our higher ticket, higher end, higher profit margin products, right? So after, and this is kind of an ongoing, right? This is like, especially the ascension, like especially this part, this is ongoing, the ascension. And once they have, we're ascending them. And so this is not a one-time thing. These are one-time events. When they become aware of us the first time, that's a one-time thing. When they engage with us for the first time, that's a one-time thing. When they convert and become a buyer, they only do that once, right? They become a buyer the first time they pay us, right? The ascension, when we're promoting our the other products and offers on our value ladder, that takes place over time. It can happen again and again and again and again, right? They could buy a 10-pound steak box. They could buy a 20-pound beef bundle, a ground beef bundle, a variety box, a quarter beef, a half beef. So that is constantly taking place, right? And then the refer, after we have sold them something else and we're continuing to sell them and promote to them, that's where we want to get them to refer us, right? To refer us to other great people that are just like them. Okay. And then the last step in this customer value journey is where they have had, like, we have, through the conversion, ascension, and the referral, like, we have surprised them and delighted them with how we're delivering their products, right? With the way that we're serving them and how we're helping them. Okay. So that surprise and delight, that's really a huge thing. And that takes place between conversion, ascension, and refer. And so we're surprising and delighting them, and that makes them want to evangelize, right? This is where we identify who are our brand evangelists, who are the people who love us and who kind of shout our praises from the rooftops. And so this is the customer value journey. This is where we are trying to take people. We do not want to take someone from like awareness straight up to evangelize, right? Because that doesn't make any sense, because they're not ready. When they first become aware, they're like, oh, wow, I just found out today that this business exists. Well, they're not ready to go straight to like, well, let me tell other people about it, right? So they need to go through this process. This is the natural process that all of us go through before we become aware before we engage, and we engage before we convert, and we convert before we ascend, right? And we ascend typically before we refer. Right? We buy more than just like the free plus shipping or like a sampler, or we try, like a sampler, like a farmer's market or something. Like, we typically ascend and buy one of the core or back end products, right? One of the main products that a company sells. And then at that point, once we've had a good experience with that, that's when we start referring. That's when we start and then we start evangelizing. So that is something that's super cool. And yeah, just wanted to kind of review today. So, all right, another question. What's the best way to partner on an ebook? There's a food blogger who asked to partner on one, and we're not sure the best way to do it. We did a giveaway with them and it didn't go well. She is a great food photographer too. Is there an opportunity there for us to exchange beef photos with them if we pay her in beef for her to use on the ebook? Any ideas how to maximize the opportunity? Yeah, 100%. That's great. So I'm a big believer in only paying for results. And so when you're going to partner with someone, like pay them for results, not upfront for anything. And if you can, yeah, absolutely pay them in product, right? If you can get a photographer to take great images that you can use for your product photos or your ebook or anything, and you can just use some beef, like that's awesome. Yeah, I would definitely do that. And then I'm just going to challenge you on the part where you said there's a food blogger. We did a giveaway with them and it didn't go well. Write down what you learned. I'm going to encourage everyone because you're not going to hit home runs every single time. You might not even get on base, right? Every time you swing with a partner, right? When you enter into a marketing partnership with a new business, like every time they promote you, it's not going to be awesome. Like there's going to be a lot of trial and error. There's just a lot of like figuring out how do we do it and how do we really identify like the prospective partners that will actually do a great promotion, right? Who are actually going to be fully committed and engaged in this promotion to help us succeed. And so, regardless, we call them after action reports. We kind of taken that from the military. Like after every partnership, after every successful promotion with a partner, do an after action report, right? Write down, what did we do? How did it go? What did we learn? Right? Because you might lose in the promotion, right? Where it doesn't go that well. Just don't lose the lesson, right? We just don't want to lose the lesson. So what can we learn from it and then take to improve on our next partnership, right? What are some things that maybe we could do differently? Maybe they only posted once to Facebook. And so maybe the next time we could offer to boost their post and pay for that and pay $20 to boost their post to their followers, right? Which would increase our reach. Maybe they only sent one email. Well, maybe we could give them 3 emails that they could send for 3 different days. Maybe the email that they sent that, they wrote themselves and it's just and it was just text. So maybe we want to give them an email that we wrote that has like some great images in it. Okay. So anyways, all right, Lacey Snow questions. Stan, are there good strategies to use to get people to leave reviews? Yeah, I'll do a video on that. I've got some cool stuff on that. I've got some great examples of how to do that, but it's a little bit. There's like some. We really kind of go into the weeds. So I will actually, Talene, if you'll make a note of that, if that for me to do that video, we'll drop it in COD, just on how to gather these reviews because we've got some really, really good stuff on that. All right. That's all the questions that are in the chat so far. Anybody else? All right. On the giveaway leads, is there a rule of thumb as to what percentage will turn into customers? There's no rule of thumb. There's not like a general because everybody's targeting different people in different areas and at different prices, right? So generally though, like as far as like what we shoot for, I want to get 5% of people to convert into customers in the first week or so. Like that's my goal. I want like the first 7 to 10 days, I want 5% of those people to convert into customers, which is very doable. So like this, and it all comes down to the offer that you're making, right? It's the offer that you're making and how you're promoting that offer. And you can promote multiple offers, but generally like on an offer, like the free plus shipping, on the low end, we see like, and this is kind of rare, but we see like 2-3% sales conversion on the low end. And that's on day one. And so if you promote that offer over like 7 to 10 days and are constantly bringing people back to that offer, you can get that up to 5, 6, 7%. Kind of an average is about 4 or 5% on day one when people launch that offer. And then we've seen, I think the Parkers, I think you guys are like 9 or 10%. And that's over the last couple of years. They've been consistently up that high. So a lot of it does come down to the market that you're promoting into. But yeah, so you could use like the 5%. as kind of like a baseline, to help you think about it, wrap your head around that sales conversion. But the most important thing, right, isn't how many we're converting. Because here's the deal. This is really interesting, is that of all the people that will buy from you, so like all of the total people that are on your list that are someday going to buy, right? Um, Most of them, about 80% of them, aren't going to buy until after they've been on your list for 18 months. So, or excuse me, 90 days to 18 months. And so 80% of all the customers who will buy from you, they're going to need to be on that list for 90 days, minimum 90 days. So it's like 90 days to 18 months. That's where most of the sales happen, which is why it's super critical that we're consistent with our communication with them, with our emails, and even I would suggest going live on Instagram and Facebook just to be constantly like be in their news feed, right? So that you're top of mind, because what's going to happen is that a lot of times the thing that triggers the buying decision is like a life event, right? It's like, oh, they got a barbecue coming up, or there's a birthday coming up, or they had like this, like epiphany about their health, right? Or they watch some documentary on Netflix and they're like, oh my gosh, I have got to get grass fed. And so they start looking, right? And so something happens in their life that triggers their desire to buy a grass fed product. And so what we can do is we can be constantly sending emails and kind of like going live, I think is the best way, because video is so much more powerful than text. If you're better at writing, then write. Just make sure that you're consistent. You're putting out stuff every day, right? Through email, through social media, because you want to be like there, like, front and center when people have those moments, those epiphanies, those insights that cause them to then act. Does that make sense? This is why, so social media, the reason or the way that we use social media, we post, like you'll notice that like I do stories, right, on my personal Instagram and Facebook, and then on the company Instagram and Facebook, I do the stories, and I do those quite frequently, maybe 3 to 5 times a week. And the reason why I do it is to stay top of mind. It's not to sell. It's not to like I don't typically include calls to action in those. I'm not like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, go check out my new thing, and you should do this, and you should hire me. Like, that's not what I do. I just share like kind of a day in the life. It's like, hey, this is what I'm up to. This is what we got going on. This is something that I thought was really cool that I wanted to share with you guys. But it's so that I'm top of mind, so that when people have that life event or that epiphany, and they're like, oh, wow, okay, now I need this thing, that, I'm right there. So I do not recommend that you use social media because you're trying to get a sale directly from your social media post, like your Facebook post. You can, but that's really not how it works. It's not how people buy. Okay. So we use social media to be top of mind. It's a great question though. Okay, Stan. So do you share new giveaways with email subscribers, keep them active, and maybe, yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So if you've got all these new subscribers that entered from a giveaway, right, and got on your email list. And so I think the question that Stan is asking is, would we then promote other giveaways to our email subscribers? And the answer is, yeah. You would not promote the same giveaway that you did, right? Giveaway to win this, $75 value beef bundle. But let's say that you went and partnered with a pork producer, and you've got like you're doing some unique new, right, giveaway contest with this pork producer. Like, that could be a great thing to promote to your audience. Okay. Or maybe like we've done giveaways in the past where we would do like these ultimate giveaways, right? Where we'd go and we'd get like a Yeti cooler full of beef, and we'd get like, other products from other producers, other even like local food products, right? And we would kind of make like this massive, like we've done giveaways with a full chest freezer or a stand-up freezer, excuse me. And like we fill it with product, right? Some of ours, some of other people's, but we fill a freezer and we say like, hey, here's this like $8,000 or $10,000 value giveaway. But that's the kind of thing that you would go promote. You would wrangle in, like 15 or 20 partners who are all contributing product. And then you would all promote the giveaway to each other's lists. And then you would all share in the leads, which is an incredible, that's the fastest way to get to 10 or 20,000 leads that I know of. But yeah, so yes, Stan, you would, just not the same giveaway that they entered, not like a normal giveaway. But if you did something special, absolutely. Or you could do like a gift card, right? Like maybe you're promoting like, hey, win this gift card for Valentine's Day, right? You want to send that to your list to re-engage with them. Then that would be great. That would be another example of that engagement, right? So awareness, engage, they get on your list. And then right here, it's all about how do we get them to convert. And sometimes people are going to be on your email list and they won't be engaging that much. Maybe they won't even be opening. And just because they're not opening doesn't mean they're not interested. It just means they're busy, right? Most people subscribe to things so that when they're ready, they can just go to their email inbox, search for the company, and pull up the latest email and then go buy. Okay. So just because they're not opening your emails, that does not mean that they're not interested. It does not mean that they are not members of your target audience, right? So your job then is to constantly be engaging with them, get them to engage, ask them questions, provide value. And this would be an example of send them, a link or like promote another giveaway that you're doing with some other, partner. That's a great way to get your list to engage with you or to re-engage with you to then try and ascend them or to convert them rather. So that's an awesome question. Taylor, is it smart to do the free beef offer to people outside of your 2-day ship zone? Or should we do a different offer that's more expensive with people outside? Yeah, I wouldn't do a free beef offer, like the free plus shipping offer. I wouldn't do that outside of your 2-day ship zone, just because the shipping can get expensive. The most important thing isn't so much the zone, rather it's the cost, like your cost to fulfill, because we want to be breaking even on acquiring these new customers, at least breaking even, right? So I would factor in more than like the duration of the shipping. I would factor in the cost of the shipping. Okay. All right, Lacey, do you have any suggestions for text email marketing platforms? By text email, you mean like email service providers, like the?
Yeah, I was just kind of curious about like what you thought about the effectiveness of text email marketing. One of the companies that I follow really closely is Mary Ruth's herbal supplements.
Uh-huh.
And I am just like in love with their text marketing. And I'm just curious, like, from a COD perspective, what your experiences with that, or like any suggestions for specific, like, I just don't know I'm just not sure how to get into it. And I would like to get into it,
Yeah.
but curious about the effectiveness in this industry as well.
Yeah. So when you say text email, you mean like plain text emails or like sending text messages to phone numbers?
Sorry, I mean text messages to phone numbers.
Okay, great. Yeah. Twilio is a great service. They've been around for like, I don't know, 10 years. I can look into it, but Twilio is what we've used in the past. Oh shoot, there is one more. I'm just trying to remember. I just signed up for it actually a few months ago. We haven't even had time to use it. Oh, come on, Cam. What is it? Let me. I'll find out. Oh man. Yes, there's a great one that's being used right now. Oh, it's not Twilio. Twilio is kind of the old standard, and it has like a lot of functionality. The name escapes me. I'll get back to you, Lacey, on that. I'll drop it in the COD Facebook community.
Yeah, no worries. But have you seen, any effectiveness in the grass-fed beef industry using text message marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. So the big thing is that it's not sending these text messages out. You're not sending a text like linking directly to an offer, right? You're not. I guess the way to use it is really to provide them value rather than to promote your offers. So if you promote offers through the text, you want to do it really sparingly, right? I mean, even sending text, you want to do it quite sparingly. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I've heard is, like quite sparingly. Otherwise, people just get like super irritated.
Super irritated. Yeah, I would not be promoting things like giveaways, like things that have a lower perceived value. I would not be sending texts out about that. But if you are, have some special promotion, like a 4th of July, right? Like a 4th of July promotion. If you're just running some promotion like because it's July, right? I wouldn't send that out. But if it's like your 2 things a year or 4 things a year that you promote, like the anniversary of founding your business and the 4th of July and Memorial Day, right? Then I would promote offers on those days through text. But the rest of the time, it's like, okay, you've got something that's really cool that will be really valuable for the majority of the people who are on your list. Also, the people who are on your list, right, to get them on that text list, that messaging list, it's not just like that's going to be a much more defined list. Like these people are really going to be interested in what you're saying. as opposed to people who just enter an email, because people are much more likely to give you their email than they are their phone number. And so it is a
What
more highly curated list, this text list.
what if it was more like a beef update list marketed that way, right?
Totally.
Like opt in for text updates on like the status of the herd or the
Yeah.
status of like ranch updates or something like that, and then like occasionally, so like that's like the value, right, of just like the information on like, hey, we have cattle heading down to the processor, or like, hey, we have beef hanging right now, we're so
Mhm.
excited. It would, that's like the value. And then maybe like, the occasional pitch, right, is like whatever, like you were saying, right, like the anniversary of the company and we're doing a big sale. So
Absolutely. Yeah, just so long as they're clear on what they're opting into, right? That's all you need to do is set that expectation ahead of time and then stick to that commitment. You could do it on product, like if you sell out a product, right? Then you could have like a get on the list and we'll notify you by text when we have more availability.
yeah, yeah, I
Yep.
love that.
Hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that can work really, really well. Or even if, yeah, I think I don't want to belabor that, but mhm, it can work awesome. It's another thing to manage, but I would say test it out because yes, it works.
Cool. Thanks, Cam.
Yeah, you bet.
See, I didn't think I was going to have questions, but of course you prompt me into one. So
I'm glad you did.
thanks.
All righty. Anybody else have any other questions on any of this stuff, guys? Oh, and I should welcome new members. I do not do that very often on these videos. I keep forgetting, but welcome to everybody who's new. Yeah, excited to have you. Excited for you to be here. And yes, you will feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose. It's just kind of how it goes. There's a lot. There's a lot to get caught up to speed on. But the good news is, once it becomes familiar, it'll go a lot easier. So, welcome to everybody that's new. Anybody else have any other questions, though? Go ahead and drop them in the chat, or just unmute yourself. All righty. If there is, oh, I need to do a shout out to Joseph Cosgray. Actually, Joseph continues to like just kill it with promotions and reaching out to partners. That guy has done more promotions with like with brands and influencers who have gigantic followings than anybody else that any other client that we have. So shout out to Joseph Cosgray for actually like taking massive action and implementing. Yeah. So he just did a promotion with I forget the guy's name, but he's the founder of Mark what? I forget. Founder of Mark's Daily Apple and like the Primal Kitchen. So yeah, if Joseph is getting in with these guys that just have like hundreds of thousands and even millions of followers, you guys can too. And there are thousands of these brands and companies and individuals out there. It is literally just like, we've given you the plan, we've given you the scripts. It's just like work the plan, identify as many, like just identify 100, go to this week and identify 100 potential partners. And then all at once, like put them all, like take 4 days and put them on a list, and then take one afternoon and send an email or a message or a direct message on Instagram or Facebook to every single one on that list. And then just like start, like get that ball rolling because it works. So yeah, nice job, Joseph. As always, proud of you, doing great. And all right, if there's no other questions, guys, I'll just see you. I'm leaving early in the morning tomorrow, and I'll be back for Monday. So if you have any other questions, though, you can drop them in the Facebook community or reach out to us, and Carly and team will take care of you. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. See ya.